At 2 p.m, Pompey sprung their first surprise of the season, when they announced that wearing the number 9 shirt would be the man who was rumoured to be out for 2 to 3 weeks, Colby Bishop. There was also space in the starting 11 for 3 debutants, Adrian Sagacic, John Swift, and Florian Bianchini. The new loan signing from Spurs Min-Hyuk Yang made the bench, having been registered to Pompey prior to the midday Friday deadline.
Yeah, and it was a surprise as well. Everybody believed that Colby Bishop was going to miss the first couple of games, and presumably Oxford did as well, and may well have catered for it, in which case their catering was off the mark. So as we await kickoff, we'll just have to wait and see whether it comes as an unpleasant surprise to them, or whether they've managed to accommodate it, knowing, as Oxford United almost certainly do, that John Mousinho is somebody who is very capable of springing a surprise. The 3 debutants, exciting. We've seen bits and pieces of all of them, mostly Sagacic, and we're very happy with his prospects. We know what Swift can do, of course, and so does he, and so does everybody else. Bianchini, he set up a goal last friendly of the season, and hopefully he can keep the momentum on that going. The big question, obviously, is where is Josh Murphy?
Pompey took to the field in their traditional kit blue shirt, white shorts, red socks, and Oxford in yellow or faded gold shirts, black shorts, yellow socks. Pompey started very brightly. Callum Lang threw a wonderful crossover in the first minute, and Bianchini got his head on out the far post, but not enough, and headed wide. Lang quickly grew into the busiest man on the pitch, carrying out a professional foul in order to interrupt a promising Oxford break, and then busying himself with a cross under the corner, all in the first 5 minutes. He buzzed everywhere, even found a moment to nutmeg an opponent.
Yeah, first 10 minutes, Pompey really had the game under control. But it wasn't a casual control, it was a busy control. They were running everywhere. They were really busy, Lang especially, but Sagacic doing what Sagacic does so well. Swift was everywhere. Everybody was playing flat out 101% of their game and creating the odd half chance, no more than that. But eventually a half chance will become a chance.
On 21 minutes, Florian Bianchini squandered a really good opportunity, put through with only the goalkeeper to beat, but put it straight at the keeper. The feeling is that though he should have done better, he at least managed to find a good position, and Pompey managed to find him. Immediately after that incident, the referee came across to have a word with Rowett, the Oxford manager, who presumably had had words with the 4th official. A commentator made the point that if he had a grievance about anything, it was the way his team had started this game. On 25 minutes, Oxford revealed their main threat, which was the long throw into the box, aimed at their 2 strapping centre-halves. There followed a classic goalmouth scramble with Nicholas Schmidt eventually falling on the ball and gathering.
Yeah, Pompey did well to survive that one because it was a real proper chance. There were a couple of Oxford players around the ball as it was bobbling 3 feet from the goal line, right in front of the goal. And it was ping pong, billiards, not billiards, pinball. And Schmidt did well to fall on it and gather it. But there is a worrying sign there. Oxford are looking for their throw opportunities, and presumably crosses from corners and free kicks as well, because it's rumoured that they have the biggest back 4 in the Championship. And that's a big league, a league of big men, big players. So if they've got the biggest back 4, then they're going to be a real threat at set pieces, including the throw-ins. So Pompey got to watch that. As for Bianchini's miss, he's beginning already to look a little bit like a confidence player, and remind us a little bit of Abu Kamara when he first arrived, who just felt a little bit imposterish. But he's getting in the right positions, and if he's had 2 good opportunities, one a header, which is probably not his forte, but an open goal, 10, 15 feet away from the keeper with only the keeper to beat. You really do need to do something other than pick out the keeper. I hope that doesn't prey on his mind.
On 32 minutes, Oxford broke away, and it was 2-on-2. The Oxford shot was strong and low, but Schmidt had it covered, dived down and turned it round for a corner. From the ensuing corner, Oxford surprised everybody by going short to the near post, and the attack broke down. In the melee, Polish defender Helik went down after clashing with Callum Lang in Pompey's penalty area. Oxford had another long throw which Schmidt was able to punch away. Pompey released Lang, who made it down to the goal line before winning a corner. Pompey's fourth corner of the game. Then on 38 minutes Pompey released Kobe Bishop, who raced forward, had only the keyboarder beat and the keeper beat out his shot. It fell to Adrian Sagacic, who lashed it in from the edge of the box with his left foot. Oxford 0, Pompey 1.
Yeah, it was a great goal. Really well taken by Sagacic. Disappointing that Colby couldn't convert when he was through with only the goalkeeper to beat, bearing down on him, took it too close to him. The keeper was able to just kind of like make himself big, kneeling down, and there was nowhere for Bishop to get past him. But the rebound went straight to Sagacic, who was backing up. He was looked like about 20 yards out, and he absolutely lashed it with his left foot. He picked his spot as well because he had to weave through a couple or three other players who were in front of him, but he managed to do that. And it really could be Pompey 4 because Bianchini has had two rock-solid chances, one with his head and one with an open goal. And it looks as though Lang's away again, but this one's broken down too. Pompey playing really, really well.
On 43 minutes, Pompey survived a weak penalty shout from Oxford, with their man going down too easily on the edge of the box. Pompey survived the remaining minutes, including 1 minute of time added on, although Oxford managed to secure a long throw which Pompey beat away, and a corner which Pompey also beat away to bring up the half-time whistle.
Yeah, some odd stats being put up at half-time. Although Pompey dominated, Oxford had more shots than Pompey, 7 to our 5. And Pompey had most possession, 53% to their 47%. But that didn't really tell the story of the half. Pompey looked sharper. They looked more intelligent. They were opening Oxford up. They could have had 5. I suppose you could argue that Oxford could have had 1 or 2. There was a goalmouth scramble right underneath Nicola Schmidt's crossbar, which could very easily have gone in. But Schmidt came and claimed the ball. 1-0 to Pompey. It's right that Pompey should be in the position of taking all 3 points if they can hang on to the lead. But I think it would be fair to argue that Pompey's lead could be even more considerable than just the solitary goal. Some excellent performances. Callum Lang really took the eye with his busyness. Sagacic also has had a very, very substantial first half. John Swift has played extremely well. He's playing quite deep. Looks like he's playing the central holding midfielder place next to Dozzell, who has been foot perfect. Connor Ogilvie is being given a hard time with Oxford coming down their right quite a bit, and they're quick. But we've survived that one. They haven't managed to get the better of Shaughnessy and Poole. When they're coming forward and pinging it into the box. They've got this new lad called Lancashire, who they borrowed from Spurs, who's a good size unit, 6'1", but he's been pretty anonymous. And he's playing up against 2 classy professionals who really know what their job is, and I think that's diminishing him just a little bit. Pompey absolutely good value for a 1-0 lead at half-time.
There were no substitutions at half-time, and the first chance of the second half fell to Oxford, with Oxford squirting the ball towards Schmidt's near post, and he bundled it over for a corner. Mills it was for Oxford, who, to be fair, is giving Ogilvie plenty to think about down Oxford's right wing. After 10 minutes of the second half, in which Oxford were showing a renewed appetite for making a fight of it, Pompey decided to slow the game down, and started short safe passing and playing at walking pace. Pompey carved out a magnificent opportunity thanks to an amazing run from Lang and a cheeky backheel that Sagacic threw on goal. He had a mighty shot just over the crossbar, and found himself apologising to 2 or 3 Pompey players, who felt he should have laid it off to them.
Yeah, a good start by Oxford. They're I'll tell you what they're doing. They're basically trying to rough Pompey up. Simple as that. Pompey are playing proper football, and Oxford are now being the boot boys. Ogilvie has been crunched, taken to the cleaners, and Bianchini received a straightforward, no holds barred, forearm smash just off the ball, sending him to the deck. The referee either didn't see it or is being extremely lenient. I think the referee has been lenient through the first half, and I think that Rowett has said to his players, the referee is lenient, so get stuck in. There's still no word on why there's no Josh Murphy, not only in the team but in the squad.
On 60 minutes, Oxford had the ball in the back of the net. It was the Tottenham loan Neil Lancashire, who was about 3 metres offside when he headed home, and yet still pretended to look surprised and disappointed when the flag went up. 65 minutes gone, Oxford making more fouls than successful passes, Ogilvie starting to give as good as he gets, some substitutions. For Pompey, flooring BNC Keeney comes off, and the Spurs loan knee, Korean international, teenager Min Hyun Yang, makes his debut. Young immediately impacted the game, bursting free on the left, and then holding the ball up to wait for support, and then half a moment later seeing an opportunity to blast one at goal, and send it embarrassingly high into the car park.
Yeah, he looks good. Okay, we've only seen him for 30 seconds, but he looks really good. He's extremely quick. His feet are very quick. He takes the ball well. He's got some good tricks, some very good tricks. And the point is that they're not showboats. They are effective. And he gets himself into goal-scoring opportunities. So we're very happy with him. We're not very happy with the fact that Oxford are kicking 12 bells out of Pompey. But most of the Pompey players can look after themselves, and that's exactly what they're doing. So still 1-0, and just 20 minutes to go.
The second half, approaching 80 minutes, Oxford flying into the tackles, but unable to string together anything of any value from a goal-scoring point of view. While Pompey, somewhat rattled by the aggressive approach of their opponents, remained busy, focused, and creative. With 10 minutes to go, the ultra-industrial Callum Lang is substituted for the man who plays wherever he wants, Terry Devlin. On 83 minutes, Oxford fans started leaving. Swanson on for John Swift.
At this point in the game, you shouldn't say it out loud, but Pompey were kind of lauding it. Oxford were bereft of ideas. It's clear that the 11 players in the blue shirts are better than each of the 11 players in yellow shirts. And whilst it's quite combative out there, and they might be winning the battle of the big men versus the not quite so big men, that's about the only battle they're winning. And it is, after all, not a battle, it's a game of football.
On 89 minutes, Oxford were throwing everyone forward, like you do when you're a goal down and the clock is ticking. Corner to Oxford beaten away, then the fourth official holds up 8 minutes of added time, Oxford throwing everybody forward. On 92 minutes, Adrian Secretek is brought off, which he does very slowly, and Waddingham comes on, Aussie, for Aussie. Full-time whistle, Oxford 0, Pompey 1.
Don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but we won that pretty easy. Mind you, it's only Oxford, they're probably going to go down bottom. But you can only beat them, and beat them we did. We beat them better than 1-0. It was more like 3-0, maybe 4-0. Maybe 4-1. They could have scrambled a goal. But the way they were playing it, the old-fashioned way, they were launching it forward and using big blokes. That's not what we do now. What we do now is approaching total football. We're streets ahead in so many ways of so many of the other clubs in the Championship. I think we're joint top now, aren't we? Apart from those teams that scored 2, like that lot.